as the shade of your lotus feet. May your flame be spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter of your lotus feet, Srila Prabhupada.
Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada ki. You give class?
In front of the kitchen there is a cup in that fresh water. Not this. Not this. In front of the kitchen this is the Maharaj. This I can take.
This first, you think it has space?
Do you want the harmonium or Mridanga?
Yeah, maybe take the harmonium.
That play Mridanga.
Yeah.
It should be on the index. It should be
Yeah.
S.
Yeah.
What page is this?
40.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Morning.
Haribo.
So we are continuing today from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 24, explanations of the Atmarama verse. And last time they finished at text 190, and today I would like to read till 199. But if you allow me so, I would actually start some verses already before to read today, again for a recapitulation, because here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining the Atmarama verse. It's giving 64 explanations, and currently he is giving an explanation for the word Atmarama, and this explanation starts already at text 186. So I will just read from there, and then we will continue, and then 199 we can read together.
Okay.
So 186 is the word Atma is also used for a particular type of intelligence. Since all living entities generally have some intelligence, more or less, they are included. 187. Everyone has some kind of intelligence, and one who utilizes his intelligence is called Atmarama. There are two types of Atmaramas. One is learned scholar and philosopher. The other is an uneducated, illiterate, foolish person. By the mercy of Krishna and by the association of devotees, one increases his attraction to and intelligence for pure devotional service. Therefore, one gives up everything and engages himself at the lotus feet of Krishna and his pure devotees. I, Krishna, am the original source of everything. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my service with love and devotion. Women, fourth-class men, uncivilized hill tribes, hunters, and many others born of low families, as well as birds and beasts, can engage in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who acts very wonderfully, and follow the path of devotees and take lessons from them. Although the ocean of nescience is vast, they can still cross over it. What then is the difficulty for those who are advanced in Vedic knowledge? So text 191. Considering all these points, when one engages in the service of Lord to Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna gives one the intelligence by which he can gradually progress toward perfection in service to the Lord. Text 192. This is a Bhagavad Gita verse. We can chant together. Tesam sadayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tatami buddhi yogamitam yena ma upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport: this quotation is from Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Text 193. To be elevated to the platform of devotional service, the following 5 items should be observed: association with devotees, engagement in the service of Lord Krishna, the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, the chanting of the holy names, and residence at Vrindavan and Mathura. 194. One's dormant love for Krishna gradually awakens if one is a little advanced in one of these 5 items and is intelligent. 195. The power of these 5 principles is very wonderful and difficult to understand. Even without faith in them, a person who is offenseless can awaken his dormant love of Krishna simply by being a little connected with them. Purport, this verse is found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.238. Text 196. If a person is actually liberal and intelligent, he can advance and become perfect in devotional service, even if he has material desires and serves the Lord with some motive. 197, and this is again a famous Bhagavatam verse. Akama sarvakama va moksha kama udadi tivrena bhakti yogena yayate purusham param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, or whether he desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worships Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental loving service. Purport, this is quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10. Text 198. Devotional service is so strong that when one engages in it, he gradually gives up all material desires and becomes fully attracted to the lotus feet of Krishna. All this is brought about by attraction for the transcendental qualities of the Lord. And now 199. So this we can share together. Satyam disati arhitam arhitolunam naivartado yat punar artita yatha swayam vivate bhajatam anchitam icha pidanam nija pada pallavam. We can go word by word. Satyam is it is true. Dishati, he awards. Artitam, that which is desired. Artita, being requested. Nirnam, by human beings. Na, not. Eva, certainly. Artada, giving desired things. Yat, which, Puna, again. Artita, requests. Yata, from which, Swayam, himself. Vidatta, he gives. Bhajatam, of those engaged in devotional service. Anichata, even though not desiring. Icha pidanam, covering all other desires. Nija pada pallavam, the shelter of his own lotus feet. Translated and purport given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whenever Krishna is requested to fulfill one's desire, he undoubtedly does so. But he does not award anything which, after being enjoyed, will cause one to petition him again and again to fulfill further desires. When one has other desires but engages in the Lord's service, Krishna forcibly gives one shelter at his lotus feet, where one will forget all other desires. Purport. This verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam 5.19-27. Om Ajnana-dimirandasya Jnana-anjana-shalakaya Chakshurumilitamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamacham Tadadi Swapadantikam Mandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttarapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajadam Sakararaghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvedam Savadutam Panchana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakana Lalita Shri Vishakanditanscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopeshwara Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namaste Tapta Kanjan Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwara Vacha kalpatarupyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ye Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, welcome. First time here?
Yes.
Okay, welcome. You know what we are doing at Krishna Temple is?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, okay.
Been in India.
Okay, welcome. So on Sunday mornings we are reading from a book called Chaitanya Charitamrita. Have you heard of this?
I don't know.
Is it from Purana or?
It's it's one part of the Purana. We have the Bhagavata Purana, and then we have the Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is we say from the Bhagavata Purana we worship Lord Krishna, and he appears 500 years ago as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this book is about his teaching. And Krishna comes 500 years ago as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to explain how we can love him. So this book is about how to be a devotee, how we can develop love for him. He personally shows. So here we are actually in a chapter, it's called Atma Rama verse, and probably this is a very technical chapter. You came today for a technical verse. This in Sanskrit, there are many verses, and we can give different explanations to them. And so this is a famous verse found in a Purana, and now Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives 64 explanations to this verse. And different yogis, different spiritualists, and they, depending on their level where they are in their spiritual life, they will understand the verse differently. So Mahaprabhu, he's giving 64. I will just read the verse, then you can know around about what it is, the meaning. It's called Atma Ramas Chamunaya Nirgranta Api Urukrama Kurvanti Ahaitukim Bhaktim Itam Bhuta Guno Hari. Sri Sudha Goswami said, all different varieties of Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though free from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. So this verse is special because it speaks about Atma Ramas. These are the people who they are satisfied with themselves. They don't need anything else in their lives. That's the general definition of Atma Rama. Rama, they find pleasure in themselves. And this verse explains something very special, namely, even those who are Atma Ramas, they are satisfied with themselves, they like to engage in loving service to Krishna. They like to serve Krishna. And this is something special because they are already satisfied, but that means they found something very special in the service, in serving the Lord Krishna. And this is because Krishna is transcendental, he is so attractive, so everyone naturally wants to serve him, even those who are in very high positions. So that's a general meaning of this verse. And now he gives 64, he says this verse can mean this word can mean that, etc. And we have read a section where Atma Rama can mean one who utilizes his intelligence. This can also be a definition of the Atma Rama, one who uses his intelligence, and the Purana says there are different types of people who uses intelligence or usually in history people define intelligence differently. At that time, or even before that, in the Vedic time, people usually who studied the Vedas, we would regard them as intelligent. And those who haven't studied Vedas, we will consider them as not intelligent. This was kind of the general definition at that time. And I think today, nowadays, we will regard those intelligent who have maybe academic titles, who have now in the modern science, who are well educated in the modern science, we will regard today them as intelligence. So we see the definition of intelligence varies. And in the future, interestingly, Bhagavatam says in the Kali Yuga, in the future, we will respect those who have money. And this is unfortunately the case. In the future, those who have money, we will regard them as intelligent. And I think you should also, now modern science, it requires money to make research. The modern science is this type of science where you need money to make research and make innovative discoveries. And if you have no funds, then you cannot advance. So universities or institutions who don't have money, usually they cannot advance in modern science according to our today's definition. But spiritual science does not need money. Spiritual science is not dependent on money. So we see how the definition of intelligence is varying over the time, but the Bhagavata Purana gives a different type of intelligence, defines intelligence differently. And also Mahaprabhu defines intelligence differently. Namely, he says that one who knows how to serve Krishna with love, he is actually a truly intelligent. So that's the definition that the Srimad Bhagavata Purana is giving. One who knows how to serve Krishna very nicely, how to please him, he is the most, he is really intelligent, it describes. Not someone who has studied all the Vedas, not someone who has studied modern science, or not someone who knows all the shlokas, etc., but one who knows how to serve with love, he is truly intelligent. So, yeah. Does it make sense, or what do you think? Is it can you somehow connect with it?
Very much relate what we also see in today's world and what we have learned from our Indian visits. We can see this very clearly.
Okay.
It's the German, Swiss background, and also the Indian point of view from the Vedic point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Swiss people, they also have love, but it's like hidden. You have to search long time and stir till you find the love in the Swiss people. Indian people, they usually are quite open and invite you to their house, etc. It's quite different to them. Swiss people, they are also, but you have to break a certain wall before they open. And that's the teaching of the Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam, it gives many pastimes of different people, and in this way shows that for to love Krishna and the other living beings, you don't need to be educated or have knowledge of Vedas, etc. You don't have to know Vedanta Sutra. And it gives different personalities. It gives, for example, examples of children, like Dhruva and Prahlad Maharaja. These are two very famous devotees. They were just like only 5 years old, but the Bhagavata Purana is very much glorifying them. Because these children, even when they were 5 years old, they know how to love Krishna. So even the greatest munis and sages who for many years have practiced austerities, they are even glorifying these children because they know how to love Krishna. And they say this is the true intelligence, the true speciality. For loving Krishna, age doesn't matter. It even gives examples of demons who love Krishna. There is a story, there is in the Vedic culture, there's always wars between demigods and demons, the suras and the asuras, the good people and the bad people. But there was one war, one battle between Indra, a demigod, and the demon called Vritrasura. He wasn't born a demon, or people considered him a demon because he took birth in a family who were all Asuri, who all had demoniac qualities. But the thing is, and Vritrasura, kind of this demon, dies in this battle, but the Bhagavatam still glorifies Vritrasura, the demon. It is because Vritrasura, he was a devotee. He had to fight because he was somehow, the circumstance was such that he had to fight, it was a duty, he was born to kill Indra, and so he's fighting, but he knows actually truly what he has to do is love Krishna, and he says to Indra, please kill me. I don't want to win over you, I just want to love Krishna. And so Vritrasura lets Indra kill him, and actually after the battle, Indra has actually won the battle, but the Bhagavatam glorifies Vritrasura, even though he has been defeated by Indra. His Bhagavatam is glorifying Vritrasura because he is a devotee of Krishna. He knows how to glorify and love Krishna. So that's the Srimad Bhagavatam says, it doesn't matter in which family you take birth. If you take birth in a very pious family, or a demigod family, or a demon family, these are all external designations. These are all bodies, but we are true spiritual souls, and this does not matter whether you are a Swiss or Indian or whatever, or an animal, etc. The Srimad Bhagavatam also says, for example, it gives example that even if someone is engaged in impious activity, and if someone has done some sinful activities according to the Vedas, even he can perform devotional service. If you just perform pious activity, it does not mean that you are a better person. Because you can perform pious activities but still be captured in samsara. You can do pious activities and you can go to higher planets, and you can get nice profits and nice benefits, but you can still be captured in the samsara. But if you do devotional service and has before that even done sinful activities, you can still be delivered. You can still be liberated. So it doesn't matter if you are a sinner in this way. If you do the devotional service, everyone can love Krishna, and that's the true criteria. So it gives an example of a person called Ajamil. He had done many sinful activities, but at the end of his life, he took up to devotional service. He started to love God and engage in activity. So he was freed. He was delivered in this sense. So the Bhagavatam says, the requirement whether you have done pious or impious activities is not a requirement to do devotional service. Therefore, devotional service is so attractive. Bhagavatam even says, it doesn't matter whether you have a human body or you have taken birth as an animal. Even thus, this is not a criteria. Even this is not a criteria for intelligence. The Bhagavatam gives an example of an elephant, Gajendra, and this Gajendra, he was caught by a crocodile, and while the elephant was taking a bath in the lake, so the crocodile got caught of the Gajendra elephant, and now the elephant wanted to rescue himself, trying to fight with the crocodile, but could not. But at the end, it understood, I am just a servant of Krishna. So he just took up a flower and said, to Krishna, I offer this flower to you, and whatever you do with me, I accept it. And it offered this flower, and immediately Krishna appeared and delivered both the crocodile and the elephant. So the Bhagavatam shows even if you are an animal body or etc., it doesn't matter. I mean, everyone can perform devotional service. So intelligence is not even defined whether you are a human body or not. Of course, there are differences in intelligence if you look from Matthias' perspective, but the Bhagavatam says true intelligence is to know how to serve Krishna, and anyone can serve Krishna in whatever bodies, whatever births, wherever you are. So this is the message the Bhagavatam says. And also here, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is also showing this example to this world. And his life, so this is an incarnation of Krishna, it's a form of Krishna, where Krishna comes as a devotee of himself to show us how to love Krishna. And it is very special because he is Krishna himself and shows now how to love Krishna, the Supreme Person. And why is it special? His life itself is a teaching that true intelligence means how to love Krishna. Because Mahaprabhu, so to teach this lesson to this world, in his earlier life, he stayed in this world 48 years long, and in his earlier life, he was a great scholar, we call him a Pandit. He studied many scriptures, and he was a very, very great scholar. It's said that even at his year, when he was 11 years old, he founded his own school. So at this age, he already had his own school and started to teach to other people. And he'd like to debate with others. He would challenge others and say, "Come, let's have a challenge on the Vedanta Sutra, the Vedic scriptures. Let's see who is more intelligent." So he was challenge others and debate with them. And some Pandits from around India, they will hear of him. This is Nimai Pandit, and they would go to his place, it's in West Bengal, and search him and say, "I want to debate. I heard you are a great Pandit, so let's debate." And in this way, Mahaprabhu would be always defeating these different Pandits, scholars who would come to him. But it's interesting, this span of his life, he's engaging as a Pandit, as a scholar, as someone who we would call as intelligent. But he's showing here something. Namely, after a certain time, his father has passed away, he has died. So to do some final ceremonies for his father, he's going to Gaya. And at this place, he's meeting a special personality called Ishvara Puri. And this Ishvara Puri, he becomes the guru of Lord Chaitanya. And Ishvara Puri starts to explain him, "You have studied so many things, many Vedanta sutras and all the Vedic scriptures, but for spiritual understanding, just understanding or this academic prowess is not enough. To real spiritual knowledge means if we can develop this devotional service attitude. And that's actually true spiritual understanding. You just have this academic knowledge, but you don't know how to serve with love. So I will teach you what this means." So Ishvara Puri is explaining to Mahaprabhu what it means to love Krishna, and he is giving him this mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and says this mantra is non-different from Krishna, and for this age, if you chant just this mantra, you will start to develop natural love for Krishna. And this meeting with his spiritual master, with his Ishvara Puri, made a transformation in Mahaprabhu, in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He comes back to his area in Navadvip, and he was a completely changed person now. And everyone was wondering, because previously he was a pandit. He said, I'm a pandit, I'm challenging everyone, etc. But now he has come back with this mantra, with his holy name, and he's just infused with so much ecstasy, with so much love and ecstasy. He just has to chant this mantra, and he's just sharing it with everyone with so much love and care. And everyone was bewildered. What happened to him? He just went like a pandit and came back like this. And then Mahaprabhu explains, yes, this is what I treasure, what I got from my spiritual master. He explained to me devotional service to Krishna, that is real perfection. That's the true perfection in spirituality, when we know how to love Krishna. So in Mahaprabhu's life, of course, he is Krishna himself, but with his personal example, he's showing us, because he was a pandit himself before, and now he becomes a devotee, and explaining actually to be a devotee is the perfection that one can attain. And this is the explanation also of the Atmarama verse, that all these people, all the Atmaramas who are satisfied with themselves, even they like to engage in the service of Krishna, because that is so attractive, that is so sublime. And this is the teaching of Mahaprabhu. And in these verses, this is exactly the teaching that Mahaprabhu gives. He says, he's quoting from the Bhagavad Gita, and says, Dadami buddhi yoganam tesam saradhyuktanam bhajadam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam ubhyantite. That Krishna, he is the absolute truth, he is the summum bonum. If we have understood him, there is nothing more to understand. But he himself likes, or he himself wants our loving engagement, loving relationship to him. He himself seeks our loving relationship to him. Krishna himself is the highest Atmarama. He doesn't need anyone or anything, because he is truly satisfied with himself. But it is said that Krishna himself wants our loving relationship and engagement, because that is so sweet, and that's the highest truth. That bliss that one can get from in this loving exchange, in this bhakti with Krishna, that bliss is million times even sweeter than a bliss that we would just get by just being satisfied and peaceful. This is very special that Krishna is explaining in Mahaprabhu. So he is saying, so in this way, Mahaprabhu is glorifying devotional service, or bhakti and bhakti yoga. And he's saying anyone can just start doing devotional service. We just heard that even children and animals and everyone can just start devotional service. There is no qualification in this. You don't need to be a pandit or learn in scriptures to start devotional service. So he says anyone can just engage in devotional service, and one way is by chanting the holy name and engaging in practical service unto him. And if we do though in this way, Krishna says he will then give us buddhi, that intelligence, that true intelligence how to serve him. Krishna himself says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. That intelligence you need to serve him, I will give to you. And anyone can do it. And he says, even if one has material desires, he says, whether one desires everything, so this is special, even if you have so many material desires, you can engage in devotional service. Or you can be someone who desires nothing. You can be an Atmarama, you can have no desires because you are satisfied yourself, even that person can engage in devotional service. And further he says, whether he desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worships Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental loving service. And this devotional service is so strong, when one engages in it, he gradually gives up all material desires and becomes fully attracted to the lotus feet of Krishna. All that is brought about by attraction for the transcendental qualities of the Lord. So it's glorifying that the devotional service, and Mahaprabhu says, when one starts to engage in devotional service, the taste in the devotional service is so high, it's so sweet, that one automatically starts to give up lower desires. One starts to give up the material desires which we have for money, fame, etc. Because these the pleasure which we will get from these, they are not at all comparable to the sweetness and bliss which we will get from devotional service. So Mahaprabhu says, if one starts to engage in devotional service, gradually the lower desires will go away, because this devotional service is so attractive and this is so transcendental, we will be naturally attracted to Krishna. So this is somehow in essence what Mahaprabhu is speaking today. And with this I will conclude. If someone has any comments or questions, you are all welcome to share now.
The love to Krishna, when you did the example of the elephant and the crocodile, it was acceptance of whatever happens, and then you said one other thing is to chant, and what else would be the service to Krishna? Because it sounded many-folded.
So devotional service, any activities that one does for Krishna with love is actually devotional service. That's the simple thing. If you do something with love, that is devotional service for him. And then Bhagavatam then describes it 9 categories, or 9 specific categories how one can do devotional service. And it's called, starts with Shravanam, with hearing. If one hears the pastimes of Krishna and his avatars and his devotees, this hearing alone is already devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam, so speaking and singing his names and his glories, and this also belongs, the chanting of the holy name belongs to here, Kirtanam. Then there is Smaranam, thinking of him, of Krishna, because if you think of him, because Krishna is transcendental, and if your mind now engages in thinking of him, your mind also starts to purify and gets this spiritual nature. Shravanam, then there is Vandanam, paying obeisances, paying respects, etc. Vandana, Archana means offering things, like the flower that the elephant was offering, a flower, or you can offer food, and whatever you have, flowers and honey, whatever you get, you can offer to Krishna. That's devotional service. Even if you earn something and you can engage this in his service, that is also Vandanam offering. Vandanam Dasyam means becoming his servant. That's to serve him in this way, practically cleaning, cooking, whatever, become a servant. Dasyam Sakyam. Sakyam is a special one. You can render devotional service by being a friend to him. Like Arjuna from the Mahabharata, he was a friend to Krishna. So you can be a friend, in this way you can serve him. And the last one is Atmanivedanam. That means by surrendering everything you have to him and be fully dependent on him. So this is really advanced. If you fully say, whatever you say, I'm just your servant. Whatever you plan with me, I'm just an instrument. and you can do whatever with me, and I'm your servant. So these are the 9 processes, and especially in this age, in this Kali Yuga, where usually it's also very difficult to do many austerities and vandanam, etc. It is said, especially by hearing and chanting, this is the easiest way. Therefore, many parts of India also you see many people sing kirtan. They sing the names of Krishna and other people, and they play instruments because it's very easy to do. So, and Mahaprabhu himself, he came in Kali Yuga to bring this holy name. He know people are quite complicated in this age. We see nowadays even how complicated it is to be just cultivated in spirituality. I mean, if you live in this world with all the phones, etc., you are so much distracted, etc. Just to read something, or read a book is difficult for people nowadays. To just sit down for some minutes and listen to the teacher in the school is difficult for people. So because it's a quite complicated age, we have made our lifestyle very complicated. He is bringing this very simple process of chanting the holy name, and this is which we do most of the time here in this tradition.
Speak something about prasadam. It's too seva for Krishna.
Oh, yeah. You heard of prasada?
Because next part of the morning program is Bhagavad Prasadam.
We invite you for the breakfast. So, usually as a yogi, a yogi is someone, the first characteristic of a yogi is he who can control his tongue. That's if you can control your tongue, you are advanced more than 99% of the people, because the tongue is, this is so difficult to control. Usually also a reason why people eat meat, because it's still so tasty, even though they know, okay, they are harming an animal, because they want to taste, and the urge of the tongue is so great, they start in these activities. And then, but for devotional service, because it is so difficult to control the tongue, Krishna gives the prasadam. This means literally mercy. So whatever we have, whatever we cook, whatever fruits and grains we have, if we offer it to Krishna first and then eat it, this is sanctified food. So that's prasadam, it's mercy. And that prasadam, that will start to purify our hearts, and we will start to control our tongue. So that's a special magic of prasadam, and he is very happy, looking forward to the next part. Because similar to the holy name, it's also doing with the tongue, you chant. So because the tongue is the first thing to control as a yogi is you start to control your speech, what you speak, and you start to control what you eat. So we control what we speak by whatever topics we speak. We try to speak about transcendental spiritual news. We try to, in this way, regulate the tongue, and by eating prasadam. So this is So now you are all invited to take prasadam. This is a tradition of this temple. Everyone comes here has to take some prasadam. So in the next room, we will serve in maybe 10 minutes. So you are all invited there to take some prasadam. Thank you. And today, Sundays, is a very special program. It's kind of our open door day. I mean, every day is open door, but Sunday we have a Sunday program where we have from 3 o'clock starting, we have mantra meditation, we have kirtan singing, then there will be, we will then have a talk, or we will discuss on a topic. And today, Devashri Radhika, she will give the talk today. And at 5 o'clock there will be prasadam. And then afterwards there is more japa meditation, etc. So this is kind of our open day, usually where most of the guests come. So you are also invited to stay longer here.
Usually in this temple, more people because people who live in temple yesterday go to some travel 8 person.
Oh,
Yes, and now only.
so you are the leftover.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are some monks and also some marachis. What's the female name?
Monkeys, no.
They live here. Those who live here, they have for these few days they have taken a break. They have gone to the mountains, so therefore it's a little quiet now in the morning. But in the evening, other guests from outside will come. So Grantaraj, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta.
Jai.
Haribo. Rasasraya Prabhu ki jai.
As it's your first time, if you like, I can introduce you to them.
Oh, really?
So, our deities here, their names are Shri Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. They two are the brothers, and in the middle is a sister. So it's a trio. And that's Shri Gaur Nitai. We heard about Lord Chaitanya from this book, so that's him there. And then it's his brother next to him. So, I can also explain quickly a bit of the history. So Krishna, when he appeared 5,000 years ago, and then he assumed an ecstatic form. So he was listening to something, and that's said to be the effect of, really the awakening of love in the heart. You become ecstatic and you lose external consciousness. So when he was listening to about the path of love, he became so ecstatic that he displayed these symptoms, that his arms went in and his eyes became big. So Krishna took this appearance. So we see that's God in ecstasy. So that's his brother, Baladev, and that's his sister in the middle, Subhadra. So in our history, we have a pastime from 5,000 years ago which relates how this form came about. So that's Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and Rani. And then 500